Hello and welcome back to Shoogly Shed Motors. We're on the XV750 again, Tom Hurley's sort of scrambler V-twin build here. Obviously last episode we got the foot pegs mounted up. I'm still waiting on a brake pedal and a gear shifter. But yeah, so I can't really make any progress with regards to the foot controls. But in the meantime, I want to start fabricating something else that's been on my mind, which will obviously elevate this build, and it's a sump guard. So a sump guard, obviously off-road bikes, you could be taking them over rocks and boulders or kind of big ruts and that kind of thing, and you want to make sure that the sump, the lower part of your engine, is protected from that, so that you don't smash your casing in the bottom of your engine. That would spoil your day out. So aluminium, obviously, because a lot of this build is going to be made out of aluminium, so we've got quite a bit of aluminium plate that I've purchased to play with. We've got some obvious mounting points on the engine that I'm probably going to pick up from. Yeah, so pretty much it's going to be a cardboard template job, make it onto aluminium, fold it, weld it, whatever, and see what works best. Between the last episode and now, I've also mounted up the front and rear tyres and the discs, the disc brakes. Not a whole lot of work involved in them, which is why I didn't film it. People have seen me fit tyres multiple occasions, so I'm not going to repeat content if I can avoid it. But yeah, front and rear tyres are on now as well, so we get a nice ride height, and we also get a bit more general view of the bike. And I've also stuck the handlebars on as well. So the bike's starting to take shape, and I think with this sump guard, it can sort of start to push it right into that off-road capability that we're kind of aiming for in this build. So let's have a look at what we're working with. Obviously, the sump, this part down here of the engine, I've actually got it up on axle stands at the back now, and the front wheel is in the chock, so I should be able to lower her down, like so, and get this stand out of the way. This big portion here, I've also got the starter motor here. We don't want these to get any kind of damage. If you're going over rocks or whatever and the front wheel gets over and this portion here takes a hit, like I said earlier, that would ruin your day out. So the engine has a pickup kind of mounting point here. Not entirely sure what that was originally for, but it's obviously not utilised here. So that seems to me like an obvious place to pull a mount from. The frame obviously doesn't come down like a cradle frame, so that's kind of out of the question. The engine is a stressed member, so we have to basically find places on the engine to mount this thing. That's my obvious big mount here. And then under the engine, not a whole lot of options really for mounting points. No, none really, which is a bit of a shame. So I'm going to have to get creative, I think. We've got this bar at the back here. These things go onto, I think originally the foot pegs were mounted onto these bars. They've been ground off by the previous owner. So probably maybe have to have some kind of bracketry coming under here from this part in order to support the rear part of a sump guard. I'm sure we can make it work, but the key is that this needs to be really quite rigid and solid so that obviously it works and protects the engine. Okay, so if we look at a bit of a design here, that's just the kind of front profile of the engine and the starter motor. I am not an artist, so don't get too hit up about this. That's our engine mount. Basically, I want something to come up just in line with the starter motor to give it some protection, and it will basically follow the curvature of the engine more or less, but maybe more of a sort of an acute angle like that, or an obtuse angle I should say, like that. And then we can also have the side of it kind of folded up like that, you know. Does that make any kind of sense? I don't know. Like I said, I'm no artist. And then we'll stick some speed holes in it for weight saving, but also to shed mud and water and things. If this was just a big pan, it would just collect all that stuff. So this is my rough kind of idea. The main thing for underneath this kind of lower portion, the lower pan itself, needs to be the right shape and size, and then I can kind of use cardboard to create the side panels, tape it all onto a big template basically, and create a net of the shape, fold that net onto some aluminium, cut it out, fold it, and then probably weld this seam here. Trying to keep the aluminium welding as minimal as possible, purely for my sake, but also strength. If it's one big piece all folded, it's going to be stronger than multiple pieces welded together, in theory. Okay, that was a bit of a mammoth fabrication session, but we've got an absolutely solid sump protector. Yeah, pretty much self-explanatory what I was doing there, just making up brackets and welding them on. Next thing I need to do is I've marked some radii, is it radii? In places, just kind of neaten this off, and then I need to go over it and neaten off like the holes, things like that. They've just kind of got burrs and that kind of thing. So that all just needs a little bit of dressing up. However, pretty pleased with that. It's absolutely solid. Very cool. Well, there we have it, a sump guard. It's absolutely solid. That's probably one of the nicest things I've ever fabricated, to be honest. There's something about aluminium fabrication that just has a certain kind of class to it. It's not an easy thing to do, and if you can pull it off, it's very satisfying, and I think it definitely elevates this build in particular. Yeah, we've got quite a bit more aluminium fabrication to be doing. We're going to do some fork guards for the upside down forks for the stanchions. We're also going to do a set of side panels, probably do a little hugger at the back. Yeah, there's lots of wee jobs to be ticked off, but I'm really glad to get that one done because that was, yeah, really enjoyable. Really enjoyed that. As usual, please do give me a like, leave me a comment, and make sure you subscribe to the Shoogly Shed channel. The channel has been ticking away in the background, just slowly growing. Hello to any new viewers that have joined the channel to watch this project unfold. It's a bit different. I'm quite enjoying making a capable off-road bike, hopefully. Yeah, hopefully it won't be too long before we get some more progress on this thing. Take care. Goodbye.